It is definitely a snow day here in Eastern Washington, and I am channeling my inner Dana Carvey with multiple plaid flannel layers today just to keep myself warm. So I am getting back with all of you with this energy forecasting that I wanted to get to and share with you, because I think there's some very interesting things going on energetically that will help shed light on why we're feeling some of what we're feeling and experiencing right now. But before I do, I wanted to give a shout out to all of my new followers. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Just a little bit of background information. My name is Dana Stovern. I am the founder and coach of the Magic of Somatic Money, which is a body-based money relationship system. That's my passion. That's what I do professionally. But come autumn of last year, the autumn of 2024, I put out a couple of videos that happened to go viral. And Spirit Team has me on the front line of doing spiritual basics for so many of the new people coming on. So if you're coming here and you're seeing me talk about spirituality and energetics and psychic readings, and then I've got this whole body-based money relationship thing going on in the background, that's me. You're in the right spot. And yes, I am doing all of these different aspects of it. And even as we move through what we're moving through, I'm really noticing that because I come to this stage with such a vast amount of experience, I think it's really important for me to stay at the forefront with the basics. So I will just continue, as things unfold, I will continue to be doing basics and channels and readings, but then I'm also going to be weaving in this body-based money relationship information because some of you really need that. And some of you have been diving into that, and once we kind of get through this wave of what I expect we're going to go through, I'm going to begin to land more of the somatic money information here for everybody to have access to. If you're interested in either of the aspects of work, either the basic spiritual work or the somatic money work, go to my link tree. I've got two sections. The basics is up front. The somatic money work is underneath it. If you're on YouTube and the link tree is not working, please go to my website, www.somaticmoney.com. You're looking for the basics tab. That will give you the basics, and the rest of the website is all about body-based money relationship. And I do want to give a nod to the fact that between the video that I put out this morning and this video that I'm recording now this afternoon that will go out this evening, I am noticing as I am moving through my day that my body is going through major shifts, acclimating and calibrating into a whole new scope of events or ways that things are going to be that haven't yet arrived. And I am noticing my spirit team taking extra care to make sure I am slowing down, that I am hydrating. And sometimes even in the middle of movements, I'll be moving too fast and they will literally say to me, "Stop, Dana, let your light field and your body catch up." So if you're feeling those sensations of nauseousness, headaches, kind of otherworldliness, you feel major shifts going on with your body, think about it like this. We are literally leaving a very old timeline and moving into a very new timeline. And our bodies and our light fields are totally calibrating that, especially as we come into significant events that I believe are going to be happening very soon. So I just want to give a shout out to that. Recognize it, honor it, give yourself the self-care that you deserve. Yeah, even though we want this shift, I think we really are going to begin to realize how much of a change we actually are going to be going through once that change begins to happen. So just be aware and give yourself that self-supportive extra that you need right now. Okay, let me go ahead and turn the camera around and let's take a look at this. So we're going to do a quick one too. We are right here on Thursday, February the 13th, 2025. There is a scan into the previous week. Here is a scan into the next week, but we're actually going to go ahead and begin with the Somatic Money Oracle deck. And just so you know, this deck right here, this is my second edition deck. It is on my website underneath the tab that's labeled Blueprints, and then you tab down to the Oracle deck. But I also want you to know, I just put this back up. This is the first edition Somatic Money Oracle deck. These decks are essentially the same deck. This is just the first edition with some differences in it than this one. And this one is less expensive, and this one is a little bit more expensive. So I wanted to give you guys that choice, and if you want to read up on it, that is on my website if you want to go take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards that I pulled this week. The first one that came up, really interesting, is the money empowerment card out of the 4 sacred money elements. Now, the 4 sacred money elements are the 4 elements of body-based money relationship that I was able to figure out. And they basically are masculine money, feminine money, money empowerment, money value. Well, the money empowerment card came up, and I think this is so closely related to that energy from spirit world saying, you might want to have a little bit of backbone, have a little bit of hashtag BFW. I think that's the nod right there, especially with having empowerment with money and boundaries with money. Now, the very next card that I pulled, it's the POV section of the deck. That basically say, are you trying too hard? Is your money strategy not working? Or is what you're working on, is it not quite there yet? So to me, this is the nod to all of us that what we believe is coming, we're just not quite there, but we're beginning to tip over that fulcrum point, that line. This card is probably the most important card that I want you to pay attention to. Both this one and this one, but really this is a central card, because wait till you see what is happening this week with the energies, and then you'll know why paying attention to your fawn money trigger, which is your codependent caretaking financial trigger, or is your codependent caretaking trigger. With the energies we're in, we are really prone to this right there. So we're going to need to be paying attention to that. And it's very interesting. Spirit team has us paying attention to our empowerment, which includes boundaries. So these 2 cards are definitely playing off of one another. And this is a nod to your central point, your assemblage point, your central point for your entire system. And I believe this is really, really important, especially as we go through our physical changes and our physical financial changes. If you don't know what an assemblage point is, you're probably going to have to look that up or get the deck and read about it. But it is a critical part of our light field anatomy, and being in the center of our assemblage point right now is a pretty darn important thing to be doing. So these are the cards to focus on. The cards are coming out of a deck system I created, the Magic of Somatic Money, the Somatic Money Oracle deck. That's the 2nd edition. This is the 1st edition. Both are available on my website if you'd like them. Okay, so let's get to this week. So very interesting. So right now we are on Thursday, February the 13th, 2025. I want to point out, we came out of an inferno. Like, if you felt like you were just churned and on deep, slow burn, and it was really difficult, oh my God, this whole thing with the sun conjuncting Mercury with Ceres as it was squaring with Uranus, and we had a whole bunch of solar wind going on. We had a flare up with the Schumanns, and then we landed, I forgot to have this in the last time, we landed in a very powerful full moon. Like, this was pretty rough. This was pretty intense. Oh, and in the middle of it, Mars was trining up with Saturn. So I hope by knowing this helps give you a little bit of a break, because these were some very intense days from like back into Saturday, really all the way through to into the end of day yesterday. All right. Now, the other thing I want to point out is we have been going through some very intense timeline jumps. The blue lines up and down are the timeline jumps, meaning expansion, taking leaps, moving into that forward direction, going up into higher vibration. And then we dropped through that right into energy gateways. Energy gateways to me are like energy calibrations, making really deep choices in your body at the DNA level, reprogramming. So we were doing big stretches and then really deep work. Then we had this inferno going on. We did 2 more yesterday and today, our timeline jumping kind of days. Not very, you can't feel that very much, but this is what I want you to pay attention to. We are heading into a stretch of energy gateway days, one after the other. And I've been doing this since the middle of last summer. I've never seen a stretch like this. Look at that. That's over a week. That's over a week, people. So this is deep DNA reprogramming, deep DNA choices, deep talking with your spirit team about who you are, what you want to do with your life, where you are headed, one day after another. Very important to pay attention to, all right? Now, what I want to point out is this is very, very connected. Look at this line. It starts here. North Node conjuncting Neptune. And both the North Node is in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces. And it is a very long, slow-moving burn that is going on here. All right? So the energy gateways and this North Node conjuncting Neptune, not an accident. And just to add in a little bit of spice of life, because we wouldn't want there to be any less drama, would we? We've got Dark Moon Lilith squaring up with the Sun. Lilith is in Libra. The Sun is also headed into Pisces very soon. Lilith is in the Justice Keeper of Libra in the balancing system, while Sun is in Aquarius, very soon to move into Pisces. Dark Moon Lilith, passions, underbelly, underseen, bringing those desires to the surface. Trining is movement with power. Sun is the self in Aquarius with the humanitarian push, the community push. To me, this is like a 3-day zinger that is kicking off this North Node in Pisces, conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. And let's talk a little bit about what that North Node conjuncting Neptune in Pisces means. It's about being spiritual. It's about being artistic. It's about being compassionate. And it prompts your lead into the future. So North Node is the nod to your future. How are you setting up your future? Well, look at this. We've got gateways going on here. This is, and the gateways are like, what's going on with your future? Neptune on itself is dreamy. You put Neptune in Pisces, you've got the double dream going on. And so this is about going deep into the waters, into the hidden, into the intuitive, and coming up with that dreaming space of what are you bringing into being. And Lilith, an underbelly, is giving you the zinger to begin to kick that off. And then I think the other amazing things going on here, look at, not to be outdone, Mercury's going to join up in Pisces. Mercury crosses that line into Pisces, and what's Mercury going to want to do? Mercury is going to want to talk about it and begin to create logistics. And how do we plan? And how do we line that up? So this is all working together. You got the moon adding in its own kickers. Then we get over here to Mercury squares up with Jupiter in Pisces as the Sun crosses into Pisces. So there's all this drama going on with the Sun in Pisces and Mercury in Pisces and North Node and Neptune in Pisces. And it's basically, this whole thing is saying, dream, people, dream. Put it into motion. Bring it to the surface. Whatever is hiding in that underbelly of passion and desire, move that forward as your individual into the collective space. And give it a little bit of zinger with talking about it, and give it a little bit of zinger with expanding it. And so even though we are not seeing a whole lot of other major astrological configurations, they all seem to be giving energy to this North Node conjunct Neptune in Pisces, saying, dream it, make it big, give it logistics, give it a zinger, put it into motion. And guess how long this goes? This goes up to March 5th. So this is a really long movement asking you to align with your soul of who you are and knowing what you're dreaming and dreaming into being, and how are you beginning to do that with the collective, with Pluto being in Aquarius. Now, I will be the first one to tell you, I am not an astrologer. This is me pulling some astrology tools, putting them together, reading up on it, doing my own intuition, doing my own interpretation. So maybe I might be a little bit off with the astrology. Maybe I might be off a little bit with the interpretation. But I think you can get the gist of the overall direction of what's going on here. But what I find so interesting is that we've all been living in this kind of no man's land. Well, guess what? That's a lot of Pisces and Neptune. That is that energy. We've all been feeling that whole thing about living inside of a fishbowl. That's Pisces. That's Neptune. That's that whole conjunct coming up. We're literally feeling that swimming around in the dreaming waters where there doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of structure going on. That's what that is. And because there's not really a whole lot of other astrology going on, we're feeling that out of sorts of the boundlessness of it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as we tip over the edge in our country with certain things going on, what do we need now more than ever? We need our ability to envision and dream into being a new future. And to me, it's like, mwah, here it is, folks. Here's the energy to get to do that. And it's a lot of water. It's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of stuff coming up from out of nowhere, which I do believe we're going to be seeing that as well. So my suggestion to you is you're going to need to make your own self-made boundaries and your own structure. And when Mercury is doing its thing, really use that energy to see if you can help prop up boundaries and logistics. But on the flip side of that, know that your intuition is going to get amped up. The underside of things is going to begin to get seen more. Your ability to dream is going to be coming up a whole lot more. Your ability to know who you are and how you are aligned with your soul as you're into that, moving into that forward moving area with that north node, moving into that destiny space. That's all the energies that are supported now all the way through to the front end of March. So yesterday when I unplugged and I started seeing all of this, I started getting really excited, because for a lot of us, we've kind of been down in the dumps with a lot of things. And to me, when I looked at this astrologically, I was like, this is exactly what we need right now as a collective to dream that new space into being in our soul alignments of who we are into that new time. We could not be getting this astrologically and energetically at a better time. So that's what I wanted to be able to provide for you today. Make sure you continue to walk forward so you can meet the miracles along the way. All right, I will see you in the next video. Mwah.